Hello Virgo, welcome to your December 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a Sun, Moon, or Rising Virgo. And before we get started, just so you know, 2020 readings are going to be coming out. So go ahead and subscribe, as well as sign up for my newsletter if you like readings sent to your inbox every Sunday. And don't forget that Akashic Record sessions are also now available, so you can go to onyxhealing.com to check all of that out. And without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to lay this spread out and then I will get to reading. All right, let's start with your oracle cards. So the first thing is, when I make joy a priority, brilliant ideas will come naturally. Support will surround me and movements will form. Okay, so I would just add to this, it's not just joy, right? Like that can definitely be a focus for you if you want, but it's more about relaxation, positive emotion in some capacity. Finding a pocket of that is where inspiration can come easily, and that can lead you to problem solving, things being in a better position, and then support can naturally come. Sometimes if you're just working yourself into a tizzy, it makes it much more difficult for it to be easy, just in terms of the support that you call in. And the archetype for you in December is the orphan. So when I'm reading this for you, it's less of a what's to come, right? Because sometimes, you know, when we think of the orphan, it can be really scary because it signifies abandonment. But the way that I'm reading this is actually the opportunity to look at this wound, not necessarily abandonment, but also like needing to prove yourself. So that's another element of the orphan, like needing to prove that you're good enough, as well as the lack or abandonment wound. So if you feel like there's scarcity, lack, this is going to be a month when you're actually able to confront that, look at it, examine it, and then from there heal it. So it just seems like you're kind of acknowledging it. Maybe it has something to do with it being a season where family is super active, and that being somewhat of a focal point for the month of December for many people. Or even if it's not something for you, it's in the air. And so being able to look at that firsthand is going to be something where it has the opportunity to transform. The central energy for you this month is the Knight of Swords, doing things your own way. So not conforming to just the way other people do it, or the way other people have done it, or what other people recommend, but really doing what's best, right, and true for you is an important piece here. The crossing energy is the Knight of Wands. So it seems like you're getting your energy back. If you feel like you've been extra tired, or you haven't really been able to get a lot of movement in, it seems like the fire is starting to bud up again, and it's giving you the energy that you need in order to carve the path that you want to carve, whatever that looks like. What's shifting out for you is the Hierophant. So I think this was like either you setting a lot of boundaries, or needing to set boundaries, or needing to create a lot of rigid regimens in your life. You know, Virgo energy is great at doing that, but it seems like it somewhat stifled the creativity in part, or the flow of your energy is the best way I can describe it. So the Hierophant shifting out, it doesn't mean you abandon routine. It doesn't mean you abandon your regimens. It just means that there's a bit more circulation happening within your life, within those boundaries that you have set up. Or it's something where you've already set the boundary that you needed to set, and so now you have the right energy to get all of those things done that may have been getting dumped into the vacuum that was whatever you needed to set a boundary around. I hope that makes sense. Let me rephrase this. If you needed to set a boundary on something that was taking a lot of energy, once you do that, you have the energy that you need in order to do whatever you want with it. It's about allocation. Okay, the oncoming energy for you is the Fool, a fresh start, a new beginning, feeling like, okay, this is the new direction that I can go in. There's also a lot of confidence coming off of this card. Granted, the Fool can kind of be that foolish level of confidence, but more so it's kind of the ability to get things done and charge ahead. So that seems to be what's coming off of the Fool. And I think that if there's a new project, a new endeavor, a new relationship, a new job, anything, this is where you're gonna kind of have the inspiration and motivation to make it happen. The outward manifestation is the Queen of Cups, acknowledging what it's taken to get to this point, the amount of healing that you've done. This is really showing that you have come a long way in terms of your healing. And so now you kind of are just making fine-tuned adjustments to whatever it is that you're working on. So the Queen of Cups is just saying, like, there's so much payoff to the work that you've already done, and that's showing up, because this is about emotional evolution and emotional mastery as well. A little bit of moodiness can sit with the Queen of Cups, but it's like getting to the point where you have a lot to show for the work you've done. Now, in the subconscious, the internal world, we have the Queen of Wands. Yep, so this is how you know that it's like you're in a really good position, is the fact that you have two queens showing up, internal and external. So they're mirroring the same things. There's a lot of consistency happening on the internal, and that's matching you in the external experience. So I'm just getting that at this point, it's just about cultivating energy, which is what this Knight of Wands is helping you to do. And then the Knight of Swords is helping you do it your way. And then whatever new stuff you're working on is kind of helping stimulate that energy as well. So it's definitely, don't forget to enjoy yourself, have fun, do something to break up the seriousness of needing to work on stuff. Because even if you're doing like a whole bunch of work on yourself in terms of like emotional work, it's still work at the end of the day, and breaking up that monotony is going to help you get the energy that you need. It's going to break up all of that so that some movement can happen. The advice for you is justice. Do not make assumptions this month. It's a terrible, terrible month to go in making assumptions. So you kind of want to keep a level head as often as you possibly can. If something isn't working, right, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to happen. It's just like you need to wait. This is coming up as a patience card in large part just because justice is like, okay, let's wait and see what happens. Let's see where this goes and how it evolves. It's kind of like creating a little container where this can show you what's really going on rather than jumping to conclusions. So beware of that, because it might be a knee-jerk reaction that you want to have, but that's not necessarily in your best interest. External influences, we have the Seven of Cups. So it seems like you have a lot of stuff to work on, or a lot to do, or there's just a lot going on with this Seven of Cups. So I'm gonna clarify this. Strength. Okay, so instead of looking at it as, oh my God, I'm frantically doing all of this stuff, or there's so many things that I need to get done and so many things that I need to make happen, the Justice card is helping it to temper this energy, because you can even tell, like, I'll show you the expression again. It seems really stressful, this Ten of Cups in particular. And, or excuse me, Seven of Cups, not Ten of Cups. But the Justice card is kind of helping it not be as intense, and knowing that you have the energy to problem solve, get things done, make things happen. It's not the end all be all. And so you will get everything done. You just have to be patient with where your energy is going, because you can't get it all done in one go. You can't get it all done in one day. And so letting yourself chip away at things rather than needing to do everything all at once is going to be a helpful strategy. And then the hopes and fears, we have the Three of Swords. Fear of not getting what you want and not having things work out. So the Three of Swords is a grief card. And the other side of the Three of Swords, it's typical for it to show up in a fear position. But the main thing is that you have done so much work. I think there's a fear, kind of like with the orphan. There's a fear of like, oh my God, what if I lose it all? Or what if it doesn't actually work? What if this strategy doesn't pan out? What if I end up, having everything slip through my fingers? What if I have to mourn this again? There's a lot of anxiety coming off of here just because you have the orphan archetype as well. Seeing this pop up, I'm like, oh yeah, these two cards are playing together a lot. So the Three of Swords is just highlighting, yes, that might be something that you need to confront emotionally, but that doesn't mean that's what the outcome is actually going to be. The Three of Swords is just the fear of it. So it's definitely going to be a month where you need to trust the work that you've done and letting that be a payoff rather than kind of walking around thinking everything's pointless because you're worried it's going to get ripped out of your hands. That's not going to work. Okay, the outcome of the month, we have the Nine of Swords. Yep, so it's very similar to the Three of Swords in the sense that it's fear-based. Now, the Nine of Swords is a really nice card to have popping up here because the Nine of Swords represents an illusion. The Three of Swords, if these were reversed, it would be different because the Three of Swords can really represent like actual grief, actual heartbreak. But because it's in the I'm afraid of position, I'm afraid of this happening, that's something that's also coming up with the Nine of Swords as well. So it's different because it's all in the mind. It's a mental experience. Let me check and clarify the Nine of Swords. Knight of Wands, same thing that you had here. You have the energy for this to not be the case, right? So if you're worried, oh my God, what if that happens? The Knight of Wands is saying you have the energy and information that you need for it to not pan out that way, but it's a matter of, putting the energy where you want it to go. That's essentially the whole game we're playing here is just about energetic allocation. It's what we're all doing on Earth. But the Knight of Wands is just highlighting, nope, you have what it takes. It's kind of like this strength card right here. You have the energy to get it done. You have the energy to make it happen. You can get to that place where you're sitting in a prime position. It's just about reminding yourself that just because you're afraid it's going to happen doesn't mean it's actually going to happen, and working on processing that without obsessing about it. Because processing and working through it is really helpful so long as you're not fixating on it. Okay, let's do a timeline for second, third, and fourth quarter. So you guys know the drill with this. These are oracle cards. First quarter of December, we have no, wait, postpone, pause, say no. Be extra conscientious of what you're giving your energy to in the beginning of the month. So definitely take inventory of what you actually have energy to do and what you actually have energy to make happen. Because if you're saying yes to a bunch of stuff that doesn't feel good, that's going to bite you later on. Especially since Virgo is a service-based sign, you have to be extra careful with this. So just don't be afraid to be a bit more heavy-handed with a no, and that's going to be what helps you. Second quarter, we have the ever unfolding rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. Okay, so that's also what the orphan is highlighting, is like, if things are stalled out, if things are not moving as fast as you want them to, if things are, getting restructured and reordered and things are navigating in a way that wasn't expected, the path is going to continue to unfold. So this is highlighting the patience as well. It's like it's very easy to get into a space where you just want things to manifest instantly. but it's hard when you can't see the full picture of what's going on. So let yourself kind of loosen up on that if you feel like things aren't moving fast enough, or if they're not going in the way that you want them to. Try to remember that there's still a lot of time to see where things are leading, and so be patient with that. Quarter 3, Lumeria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. See, this is why it's kind of like the idea of paradise, or a time prior to wounding on earth. That's essentially what that is. And that's like the archetype of this card. And so I'm just seeing this as you're getting into a position where this is possible, because you don't want a half-baked manifestation. Those actually suck. If you have a half-baked manifestation, it's not gonna, you're gonna have to do it all over again. Or you're just gonna get like a taste and then it's gonna get stalled out. In my experience, that's typically what happens. So this is just highlighting, yes, it is happening, like that idea of a paradise or whatever you're actively building in this lifetime, it is happening. You just need to kind of stay the course. And then wrapping up the month, we have Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, Teacher. So there's definitely something here about either you stepping into more of that role, or you connecting with someone who embodies that role and that you're just really connected to. Some of you, it's going to be for you directly. Others of you, it might be something outside of yourself. But I'm seeing that there's more connection and kind of sinking into more spiritual practices as well, or intuitive healing. That type of stuff is coming up. Okay, let's do a 3-card pick. You're welcome to ask a question, ask for clarity, guidance, whatever it is that you need. If you need more time, pause the video. Card number 1, we have the 10 of Cups. Celebration, happiness. There's more to be grateful for than I think you might feel in the moment, right? It's very easy, especially if you have Virgo energy, where you want to fix everything. So anytime there's a little blip on your radar, you kind of want to take care of it immediately. So this card is just highlighting that, you know, letting things be good, finding the joy, finding something that's pleasure-based is going to be helpful. And card number 2, we have the Page of Pentacles. Let yourself show up for your desire and what you want. Showing up fully, showing up completely, letting yourself be seen, not hiding from what you want. Instead, just leaning into it full force is going to be super helpful. And then card number 3, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So maybe this is a new project, a new idea. There's initiation on something, or a new stream of income, or a new opportunity. Think like in the material realm, something new is happening, or there's something new that's coming up, or something new that's being initiated. So the Ace of Pentacles is a really nice card to have, because it's also the delivery of what you desire, or something that's going to support you. So this is definitely like, yes, that's happening and that's coming. Just in the meantime, work on building the energy that you need. All right, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to watch all of your sun, moon, and rising videos if you happen to know those, to get a full picture of the month. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one, if you need a reading, if you need some healing, go to onyxhealing.com or check out the links in the description box. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter. 2020 readings are going to be coming out soon, and you can get notifications and all sorts of good stuff through email. Don't forget to take a moment to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you all later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.